What's going on, guys? It's Cali Q here, and yes, I'm back with another Eiyuden Chronicle video. Listen, y'all gonna see a lot of these videos because I've been waiting for this game for so many years, and this is my most anticipated game of the year, so I have a lot of content coming out about it. But by this time, we have all had our hands on Eiyuden Chronicle, and there's a lot of things that we like, and there's some things that we dislike. In today's video, I'm gonna go over 5 things I love about Eiyuden Chronicle, and then 5 things I dislike about Eiyuden Chronicle. These things are still progressing as I'm playing the game. I have about over 70 hours in the game thus far, guys, and overall I have been enjoying it. But there are these little nitpicks and things that I even said in my review that is just, we hope that they fix if there is to be another entry of Eiyuden Chronicle. Thank you everybody who has been supporting the channel, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. All SUIKODEN and Eiyuden fans, this channel is the place for you because I love talking all things about these legendary franchises. All right, enough. Let's jump into 5 things that I love first about Eiyuden Chronicle. So let's start off with the characters. Now, the characters are a huge selling point for this game, as this is what was promoted when it came to Eiyuden Chronicle of recruiting over 100 characters. That is obviously the appeal of the game, and I have to say that Eiyuden Chronicle does an excellent job of adding in character diversity, character personalities, and having me overall enjoy every character in this game. Now, there are some that I don't really care for, and there are some that are pretty tropey, as they say. But overall, this experience of finding new allies, recruiting new allies, trying new different team combinations, seeing all the different characters from all walks of life and all ways of life has been one of the funnest aspects of Eiyuden Chronicle thus far, and I just find myself trying all sort of different team combinations and character combinations, and that is a testament to how well that they made some of these characters. Again, some of them are tropey, but some of them are really enjoyable, and honestly, there are times where I wish I could have even more than 6 characters in a party, but right now I have been thoroughly enjoying the characters. Without spoiling too much, guys, I really enjoy the characters of Eiyuden Chronicle, so it's nice to know that the selling point of the game actually keeps its word and has compelling characters. Next, I absolutely love the music and the towns in this game. For some reason, the towns in Eiyuden Chronicle are just so cozy and nostalgic to me. You can really see the heart and care that was placed into developing some of these towns. These are not the run-of-the-mill JRPG towns. These towns are detailed, they're fleshed out, they're unique, they're cozy, and most of all, they all have an aesthetic that is truly believable. Every time I visited a town, it felt like its own ecosystem. It all had a realistic theme. All of the residents of the town felt believable, and it just all meshed together so well for me. I truly enjoyed the process that was exploring Eiyuden Chronicle's towns. Every time I visited a new village or a new town, I just felt like there was an adventure of exploration waiting for me as I entered that town. I truly enjoy the aesthetics of Eiyuden Chronicle in general, so this is probably why the towns really resonated with me. Or maybe it's just that old school nostalgic JRPG fanboy in me from the 90s and early 2000s that I just could not get enough of. So I love the beautiful visuals and the towns in this game. They all feel real, they all feel believable, and they're one of my most praised aspects of Eiyuden Chronicle, because boy do I miss me some traditional JRPG towns with some actual depth and some actual visual creativity. So Eiyuden Chronicle, I love that about this game. And I'm going to go ahead and couple the music in with the towns because the music did a great job of making those towns feel cozy and making those towns feel believable. So we got to go ahead and go with the towns for number 2 and 3, I guess. Speaking of towns, the HQ system in Eiyuden Chronicle is probably my favorite that I've ever encountered in any single JRPG. That includes the Suikoden games. Watching your HQ go from this place that has grass growing out the ground to abandoned buildings and destroyed buildings to this nice bustling town full of population, full of businesses, full of other people with great talents. This was one of my favorite aspects in Eiyuden Chronicle. Also, rebuilding the base section by section, upgrade by upgrade, and providing resources so that you could advance and upgrade your town so that you can ultimately increase the population of your base. That just made it feel alive. It made it feel like something was always going on, and this forever will be one of my highest praises of Eiyuden Chronicle. If there's to be a sequel, they have to absolutely elaborate on the HQ building system because this was phenomenal. in my opinion. I still to this day enjoy all of the hard work that I've put in to make this base a real thing. As far as unlocking mini games, unlocking new character cutscenes, new character interactions, the HQ system of Eiyuden Chronicle stands out second to none in my personal opinion. The only thing that could improve upon this system is maybe like a day and night system or weather system, but HQ wise, Eiyuden Chronicle absolutely knocks it out the park. And I think that for the HQ system alone, it's worth checking out this mechanic of this particular JRPG. So this is a huge feather in the cap for Eiyuden Chronicle, and I love building the things like the bathhouses or the hot springs and the minings and the restaurants and everything. I just enjoyed it all. Even having guilds, the fortune teller, having the achievement holder. I just loved watching my town come to life, guys, and it's one of my favorite aspects of this game so far. And for number 4, I want to touch on mini games / side content. Now listen guys, Eiyuden Chronicle is packed full of side content and mini games, which is surprising because this is an indie developer. For me, I love seeing this sort of attention to detail and extra mile because it just makes me feel like I'm playing a complete full game. They did not have to throw these mini games in here. They did not have to go as far as they did, but they did it. And it reminds me of the yesteryear of those classic style JRPGs that I grew up with. So I loved playing the shark racing mini game with the sharks, and I loved doing the little cooking battle. I love things like the hot springs and seeing the characters have different conversations and different interactions, as well as the theater mode, as well as the card game. There's so many different side contents and mini games in the Eiyuden Chronicle, and you have to admire the effort that the developers put into this, because they could have just given us a story-driven JRPG and been done with it. But they gave us so many side things to do, so many other things to explore and have fun with outside of just the main game, and I gotta give it a huge praise for that. I love that about Eiyuden Chronicle. Now this one is a double-edged sword, but I'm going to put as number 5 the battle system, especially when you unlock more and deeper characters. I loved unlocking new characters and then seeing what their battle style would be like once we entered the battle. I also love the different ranges of characters. I love how there's short range characters, there's middle range characters, and there's long range characters, giving you a different variety of different combinations and teams to play around with. That's why I said once you get later in the game and start unlocking more folks with different abilities, the battle system definitely starts to become fun. Now I do have another thing I have to say about the battle system, but that's going to be on the other side of this video, unfortunately. But overall, I did enjoy my time during my battles with Eiyuden Chronicle, and I cannot wait to see this formula improved upon, as it closely resembles the formula that the SUIKODEN series has set forth time and time again. But battles here in Eiyuden are fun with a certain string attached. They're fun. But let's go ahead and jump into some of my dislikes of Eiyuden Chronicle starting now. Now we have to all keep it real. The fishing in Eiyuden Chronicle is probably the most bare bones fishing system I've seen in a current JRPG to this date. I have no idea why the music completely stops and you get just this silence of fishing.
Nothing to it.
Yes, I'm not messing up on the video. This is how it sounds when you're fishing in Eiyuden Chronicle. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no idea why they made this design choice, but I have to say I am not a fan of it at all, especially when I just got done fishing in Star Ocean and Second Story R and other recently released JRPGs like Sea of Stars. I have to keep it real, I was not impressed with the fishing in Eiyuden Chronicle, and if they were to bring this feature back, they're going to have to do something major to change this system up. At least a bar or something at the top, or at least a battle between you and the fish, but there has to be something, and locking a character behind that basic bare bones system was just not a good design choice in my personal opinion, and the will-eye bream was not a fun fish to catch because fishing was not fun. So Rabbit and Bear, we've got to do something about that fishing mechanic. Now before you all get on me about this one, I'm putting this one on here lightly because I did enjoy certain aspects of the war battles. But the reason that I have it on here overall is because I was a little let down compared to what I thought I would get. I thought there would be a little bit more customization, and honestly, whenever the war battles got started, they pretty much ended. It's almost as if we really rarely seen any war battles completely fought to a real conclusion, completely fought to a real end or a real result. It was always story related, and they kind of always ended early. We were never really able to get in and defeat as many units as we can, customize the units the way we want to, put certain allies with certain leaders. There just was a lack of customization options that I thought I would have when it came to what I thought I was going to get when it came to this war battle system. It was a little bit more automated than I would have liked, and they were just way too short for my liking. But the structure is there. I truly enjoyed this structure. Just let us have a little bit more freedom next time, and don't cut it so short with so many different cutscenes and so many different things overtaking the prominence of the battle. Let us duke it out. Let us war it out. Let's go ahead and let's have a real war here. So that would be one of my biggest critiques so far, is that I didn't really feel like I got to get loose when it came to the war battles. But keep in mind, I still enjoyed them, just not as much as I thought I would. So let's hope this is a proven pawn on the next game. Next, I have to say the whole rune situation is quite a little bit confusing. The skill tree takes some getting used to, and then there's barely really descriptions of what the runes really do. You also have to be at a rune shop in order to change the runes, in which, in my personal opinion, this should be something that we should be able to change when we see fit. Now, I know there are some Suikoden games that follow suit just like this, but I think this whole concept needs to just be abolished altogether. And I think that the next rune system in the Eiyuden Chronicle needs to be a little bit more simpler, needs to be a little bit less restricted. I felt very restricted when it came to certain characters, their limitations and their capabilities. I kind of want them to simplify the rune situation next time and make it a little bit more user-friendly for newcomers to the series and even veterans alike. So I didn't quite enjoy the rune system as much as I thought I would. And further on, there's another point that I have about the runes that I'm not the happiest with, but I'll let you guys know that in the final point of this video. But yeah, I got to go ahead and throw the rune system on here. It wasn't the best it could have been, and they could have did a better job of implementing and teaching the user how to actually use these runes with certain characters and combinations. Now number 4 has been the talk of the town when it's come to Eiyuden Chronicle and classic JRPG design. Some folks are not happy with the inventory system in Eiyuden Chronicle. And I have to be honest, I have to agree with them. There does come a certain point where the design choices affect the flow of the game. Eiyuden Chronicle's bag issue is too prominent. It's too in your face. It's too on the nose, so to speak. The fact that you have to go and recruit certain characters or increase your bag size through your HQ says it all. I think that this should be fixed in the next game, and it's just a outdated design, so to speak, when it's coming to the quality of JRPGs today. I understand I made a whole guide video telling people how to increase their bag, but this should be something that the players necessarily don't have to worry about. This doesn't exactly feel like a reward. It feels more like a chore. And let me tell you, when people are already on the fence about a lot of things, you don't want to add to their chore list. So in the next game, let's just increase that inventory to a reasonable size. And if we want to get extra with it, like get 100 slots or 150, then let us do the necessary requirements to get additional space and to get additional perks. I think that that should be the baseline, but the baseline should not be every other time you open a treasure chest, you're told that your bag is too full and you have to now make this decision between important runes, important items, healing items, revival items, equipment, all battling for the same space. I don't think that was right, and I do think we have to fix that in the next game. Yes, guys, I have to say it. Battle speed in Eiyuden is just way too slow, especially if you're a Suikoden veteran. Sometimes there are times when you're facing certain enemies, like as you can see here on the screen, the undead characters, and they take so long to attack. This is probably one of my biggest critiques of Eiyuden Chronicle, because if we could just speed this up just a little bit, I would be enjoying the battles so much more than what I already am. I enjoy the battles now, but imagine if I could speed them up just a little bit. You combine this with the UI menu moving slow as well, and sometimes battles can feel like a slight slog. Eiyuden has this problem with all of its menus in every aspect of the game. Even when you're escaping from a battle, you have to sit there. Even when an enemy dies, there's a delay in the animation between when the enemy dies and when the enemy is, like, you know, still up. They have to fix this speed issue when it comes to the UI, the menus, the statuses, and the battles. For some reason, speed was really hard for Rabbit and Bear to ace when it came to Eiyuden Chronicle. The pace is just a little bit off. So if we can fix that pace and have characters attack at the same time, especially if they're attacking different characters, why can't the characters attack simultaneously, just like the SUIKODEN series? So we have to improve that speed. Also, one thing I have to say about the battle system is I'm not exactly happy with the way that magic and rune is done in this game. Magic just doesn't really feel like it unless someone else can tell me otherwise. I feel like magic in this game makes you go even slower, and it's just not worth the build up or the cost of MP to use your magic in this game. Really? At least offensive magic. I've always used the healing magic and things like that, but offensive magic in this game just really doesn't feel worth it to me. But perhaps I'm just playing it wrong. But all in all, we gotta speed this game up when it comes to menus, progression, fighting, animation. It gotta speed this game up, guys. I wish there was honestly a patch to speed this game up a bit. So there you guys have it. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Let me know down below, what are your 5 things that you love? What are some things that you're not feeling right now? And what are some things do you think that are just nitpicks that everybody needs to get over it and just get over it? Thank y'all for the support, man. Appreciate you guys. More content coming soon. My top 10 characters are coming very soon. I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.